Good morning, Hawks. Coach Hunley here. We're back with another adventure today. I'm on the campus of Berea College again, and I'm here with Miss Brandi today. She's a student here at the college, and she's going to talk to us about some tips how to prevent some germs, some basic first aid stuff. So I'm going to turn it over to Miss Brandi. She's going to tell you a little bit more about herself and a little bit more about what we're going to do today. Take it away, Miss Brandi.
So, hey Hawks, my name is Brandi. I am a senior at Berea College, and my major is Health and Human Performance. So today's video, first we're going to go over hand washing and some, fun tips to help you do that. And then we're going to go over first aid, like what's inside a first aid kit, and minor first aid care that you can do at home, just in case you hurt yourself. And the third part of the video, we're going to talk about just in case you get burned eating your food, or if you get burned from the sun being out too long and not having sunscreen.
Okay, Hawks, so come along for the adventure today with Miss Brandi, and we're going to learn about our hand washing, basic first aid tips, and how to take care of your skin in case of a burn, either eating food or outside if the sun's too hot.
Hey Hawks, today we're going to go over hand washing. Before we do that, I'm going to give you some things that you might need when you're washing your hands. So, you'll need soap, you'll need paper towels, and then there might be some cases where you don't have access to wash your hands. So you might need hand sanitizer. So I know that we are in a pandemic and now we're washing our hands more frequently, but I would like to show you the proper way to wash your hands and give you some fun tips on how to do that. So, what are some cases that you'll need to wash your hands? You'll need to wash your hands before and after eating, after using the restroom, after sneezing. Even if you cover yourself, you'll have to do that after you probably pick up trash or clean your room. So let's get started by washing our hands. So the first step, you turn on some water. Make sure it's warm, not too hot, and definitely not too cold. You wet your hands, and then you get enough soap so you can lather your hands. One thing that we don't really think about is we have to lather our hands, the front and the back, and we have to go down to our wrists too. Okay, and then a lot of people don't do this, but you have to go in between your fingers like this. And some people don't know that you have germs under your fingernails, so it's important to scrub your palms too, so you can get the soap under your fingernails and clean that out too. So you're supposed to do this for 20 seconds, and it might seem like a long time, or it might seem like a short time. So to keep up with the count, you can sing songs like your ABCDs, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, and Happy Birthday. So once you've done your lathering for 20 seconds, you can rinse your hands. Okay, once you're done, you get a paper towel and basically work down from your wrist to your fingertips. And it might require you to get more than one paper towel, so don't be scared. The drier your hands are, the cleaner your hands are. Okay, Hawks, now we're going to go over first aid and why it's important to have a first aid kit. So, first aid is the first action or the first care that you do towards a minor wound or injury. So, this is a first aid kit. The first aid kit contains materials that will help you clean your wound after you fall off your bike, or if you get a sunburn from being in the sun too long. So before we start going over the materials, it's important to say that a first aid kit at home will not help you with injuries, serious injuries such as breaking your arm, or if you fall and you're bleeding a lot. So it's important for you, even before you do first aid, to get an adult, and if you don't see an adult, get help from somebody that's over 18. So we're gonna go over things that you'll find in a first aid kit. So we have gloves. Gloves are important to wear if you come in contact with somebody that has fallen and they're bleeding. So you don't want their bodily fluids, such as blood, to be in contact with you because they might contain germs and other infections. When you fall, your parents might have gloves and wear gloves when they're caring for your wounds too. And then we have bandages, small and large, just in case you fall, you're bleeding. You'll want to stop that bleeding, so you'll take these and press it over the wound. You also have ointment. This is for preventing your wound to get infected, or to put on bandages when you are ready to bandage your wound. And you also have alcohol prep wipes, to make sure the area is clean before you start doing first aid. You also have a cold compact press, just in case you get a burn and you want to cool the skin with a cold compact press. So, and you also have Band-Aids. I know you know what these are, but they have different sizes from small, medium, and large. So, these are the basic things that you'll find in a first aid kit. Now that you know what a first aid kit is, how about we found out where you can get one? So, ask your parents, do you have a first aid kit? If you don't, you can go to your local Walmart or your local Walgreens and get one. The one I purchased was from Walmart for $10. So the price ranges from $5 to $15. You can get any one, and it's guaranteed to have some of these items in your first aid kit. So now that we know what's in the first aid kit, we're going to demonstrate on how to use a Band-Aid, because that's what we mainly use when we get cuts. So Coach, he has a cut on his finger, so I'm going to put on gloves because he is bleeding, or pretending to be bleeding, and it's important to wear gloves to prevent other bodily fluids such as blood to get on you. So since he has a cut on his finger, we will not need a big bandage like this. So we'll use a medium-sized one. So on the bandages, there's little tabs that you can use. And if you can't get the tabs, just rip the side open. So he cut his finger, and now he's with me, and he's already dried. All the blood has already dried, and he has wiped the blood off. So now it's time for me to put a Band-Aid on. What are you? And there you go. After you provide care, make sure you dispose of the trash and your gloves, because you do not want to reuse gloves, just in case there's other bodily fluids on there. So the third thing that we were going to discuss about is burns. So Coach, what is your idea on burns, and how would you take care of them?
Well, let's think about how burns occur for us. At school or at home. At school we were outside playing on the playground. If the sun's super hot on a day that we're spending most of the time out, we could get a sunburn. So we want to protect that by wearing sunscreen. But if we forget that sunscreen and we start to get a burn, one of the first things you can do is avoid getting in the sun. So ask the teacher, hey, I need to go in. I'm getting sunburned, my skin starts to feel hot and it's burning, so you remove yourself from the situation. You go inside where it's shady. The next thing you can do, as you mentioned earlier, we have these cold compresses, or at school we have ice that we can put in the sandwich bags, and you can put that on there to cool your skin down. Another thing that we might burn ourselves is, just say if we're in the restroom washing our hands and we turn the water on a little too hot, and we go to rinse our hands like you talked about, that may be a little too hot on us. So we could also remove our hands, turn the water off, go get some ice to cool our fingers down. Now, some situations at home where you might encounter a burn would be if you're helping mom or dad maybe cook and they're boiling water and some of the water may splash on you, or if you are going to eat your food and say you have a piece of pizza or a piece of chicken that you just got out of the microwave. Mom just put it in the microwave, she handed it to you, you go to eat, and you pick it up and it's a little too hot. So anytime that you get any kind of burn, first you want to talk to that adult. Hey mom, you know, this pizza was really hot, I burnt my finger and it's really hurting, what do we do? You can run it under some cold water like you mentioned before. If you have some cold presses at home, you might have a freezer pack that you put in the freezer to stick in a cooler to keep drinks cold. You might be able to use that, wrap it in a paper towel and apply it. So there's a few things that you can do with burns. Burns are one of those tricky things though. You always need to find that adult, because if it is a severe burn, you need to seek medical attention. Like you mentioned, a first aid is something that we can do home for basic care, but if it's something that's a severe injury, we need to seek medical attention and go to the doctor. So that would be Coach's advice on the matter.
I like your advice.
Well, there you have it, Hawks. We've came here today at Berea College and we have visited with Miss Brandi, and she's taught us a little bit about first aid, some basic care tips using some Band-Aids and things in a first aid kit that you can get from Walmart or Walgreens. We've also talked about some minor burns that we may encounter at home or at school and how to treat those, seek out that adult. And she also showed you tips on how proper hand washing. Make sure you're using those 20 seconds, using that soap and that water, and then in the event that you can't wash your hands, we have sanitizers and things at school that we can use. But I just want to thank you, Miss Brandi, for having the Hawks come along today and teaching us these tips that we can help prevent the spread of germs during this pandemic. So thank you very much. Hawks, I'll see you next time.
Thanks for having me, Hawks.